I understand that DHL is doing their job, but why did you have to slice right across my belt? One of the most annoying things is when you order a belt overseas and it has to go through the security checks. And if you see the security check tape on your box, you'll know that they opened up that package and looked inside of it to see what it was. This happened to me. I ordered a wrestling belt overseas. It came through DHL and it had the security check sticker on the box, so you know that they cut the tape on the box to look inside the box to see what the contents were inside, and sliced right through the package. And when they did that, it made a small little scratch right across the main plate of my smoking skull belt. Not cool, DHL. So let's talk about this belt. This was made by Great Custom Belts overseas in Pakistan. This is the gold version of the smoking skull belt. This one right here has some custom modifications done in the leather. And I believe this particular leather design was come up with by a guy in the hobby called Danny Dalton. I believe he was the first one to do this. I could be wrong, but he's got some custom tooling in the smoking skull strap. On this side, you have OMR, which Stone Cold had on his vest during his last match with The Rock at WrestleMania 19. It stands for one more round, as in, your last round. So OMR, one more round. And then on the opposite side, you have Austin 316 tooled out in the leather with like silverish white paint on the leather. Wonderfully done. Just definitely captures the spirit of Stone Cold. The Austin 316 is really cool. I like that a lot. But more importantly, we're talking about getting this belt back from DHL and getting that small scratch across the main plate. And I noticed it when I opened the box up, and there was a cut right over the packaging. And I was like, please don't let that be a scratch. Please don't let there be a scratch. And when I took the packing off the belt, all the bubble wrap, sure enough, there was just one little slice right across the skull on the main plate. You guys see that line right there? This line that goes from here across. You could tell the belt was face up, and DHL opened up the box and just went straight through to look inside and be like, oh, it's a belt. Okay. And that was it. In some light, you can't even tell it's there, like this light. But as soon as you start hitting it with the shadows, you can see that scuff right across the main plate, which is a big bummer. But like I said, if you hold it back a little bit, you can't even really tell in that kind of light. You can't see it at all. But obviously, we're collectors. We inspect these things. We look at them really close. And you can see that line straight across under his eye and go under. Now, with me, is it a bummer? Yes, absolutely. But again, I'm not going to let that bum me out. Hell, if I wanted to, I could brasso this belt a little bit, make it look a little faded, and that would just add to the ring used type look. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave this the way it is. It looks good on a shelf. It looks really good. The leather on it was done really well. The tooling on it is fantastic. Of course, no belt tip. And on the back, you do have your whitish gray snakeskin backing. This is a nice and smooth type of backing on some of my smoking skulls that I've had come through here. There's been some like snakeskin texture as you touch it. On my old Fight Night belts one, there is texture, like rattlesnake texture on the back of that. This one is just smooth, like vinyl backing. It's nice and smooth. Other than DHL scratching that small part on my main plate that I've showed you guys right there, the belt itself is really good. It's one of the better smoking skulls that I've held in my hands. The best one I think I've ever held is the one by Alianas. His was just fantastic. If you go back, that was the one that had the huge curve in the main plate. That was a beautiful looking belt. This one Just has just a slight curve, nothing too crazy. Like I said, the other one I used to have, there was a huge hump in the middle of it, where this one is more normal for us collectors. So yeah, this one is really nice. Etching on it looks really good. Paint on it looks really good. Of course, like I said earlier, the custom leather in this one, Great Custom Belts had this one for sale. They had it in stock ready to ship. And Assad had hit me up and said, hey, are you interested? And I was like, yeah, of course. I've sold some of my other ones in the past, and I needed another smoking skull. So it worked out perfectly. So I always recommend, if you guys are looking for a belt, message some of these belt guys and see what they have in stock. Because sometimes they have belts almost already like completed and they're ready to sell or ready to buy. So message some of these belt makers and say, hey, do you have anything in stock? Can you send me pictures? Because I would like to see it. And that way you don't have to wait as long for a belt. So that's exactly what happened here. He had this belt almost done and was like, hey, are you looking for one? And I was like, actually, I am. So, yeah. Nice, beautiful smoking skull belt. I love it. Great Custom Belts always does a really good job. Again, I cannot fault them for the scratch in the main plate. It was not there when they sent me photos before it shipped. However, it was there when I opened up the package and I saw that DHL had opened it up and there was a cut in the packing, and I was like, oh no. And here's a close-up look at the smoking skull belt. Again, this is just a standard zinc belt. Jamar at the bottom, and bulk art at the bottom on the other side. World heavyweight champion, barbed wire tooling along the main plate, rattlesnakes on each side, of course the smoking skull, and there's a close-up look at that scratch right across. Like I said, it's a big bummer, but like, what can you do, right? Can't really do nothing. The leather looks fantastic. I always love when I see a good-looking smoking skull belt and it has this artwork. My old smoking skull, a lot of the old belts back in the day, had the double-headed snake that wrapped around, and instead of this being the snake's tail, it would just be another head. So two snake heads facing off with each other. But I'm always happy when I see this artwork where just one single snake. WWF Attitude. One more round. Like I said, the leather is really good. And like I showed you before, Austin 316 painted in the leather. No belt tip. This belt never had a tip. All right, let's do the snap test to make sure everything snaps together. A little rough, but everything does snap together, which is good. Try it again. Yeah, a little rough, but not too bad. I mean, they're snapping together, which is what matters. So, yeah. So, there you go. It does stand up on its own. The leather does support the plates without the use of an easel stand, which is good. But in my opinion, if you guys are in the market for a wrestling belt and you want a good-looking belt, I do recommend Great Custom Belts. I think they do a good job. Lord knows I put a lot of videos on this channel and done a lot of reviews. Saw lots of their belts come and go through this house. And yeah, I'm always eager to show you guys if a belt looks good or it doesn't. And in my opinion, this belt looks really good. I'm really happy with it. Gonna go on my shelf. Gonna put it with some Stone Cold Funko Pops, some Stone Cold action figures. Maybe I'll dress up as Stone Cold for Halloween this year. I don't know. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.